I'd like to pick up a subject that we've had a lot of discussion on here in this appropriations subcommittee with our colleagues from the EPA, and that's the situation in the community of Fairbanks, Alaska, with the particulate matter, the tightened standards for small particulate matter, the PM 2.5. I know it's a subject that you're prepared on because we talk about it all the time. The problem for the people of Fairbanks is we haven't been able to gain any flexibility from the EPA on this issue, and it becomes more and more serious. This is the second largest community in the state of Alaska. It's probably the coldest city in America for its size. They're trying to meet these new standards. They're working to provide some incentives for the residents to change out their older furnaces and their older stoves and boilers for more efficient pieces of equipment. We've asked the EPA to work with us in terms of timeline. We've asked whether there might be grants available for doing the change out. Right now, what the Fairbanks North Star Borough is proposing is a research program where they're looking to define whether or not emission reductions can be achieved by doing switch out and effectively moving to more efficient means of heating their homes. When it's 40, 50 below in Fairbanks, not heating your home is not an option. And unfortunately, their options are really very limited. It's either coal, it's wood, it's home heating fuel. We don't have natural gas into the community. We're trying to get there. And we've asked EPA for leeway on this. So the question to you this morning is whether or not you have identified any areas where there might be some level of assistance that the agency can provide with it's about a $4.5 million cost to the study, or the funding that we have asked for to help the residents move from one technology to another, whether there's anything that can be done to provide for this. We're now trying a firewood exchange program where homeowners are swapping out wet wood for dry wood. You know, you're talking about technologies here with the chairman that lead us to greater efficiencies. We're going back into the Stone Age practically and telling the people of Fairbanks, well, the way that you're going to deal with your emissions is you're going to not burn wet wood, you're going to burn dry wood. Well, the fact of the matter is we're burning wood to keep warm. So if there are no areas, given the tight budget that we're dealing with, that you can help us with in terms of assistance, is the agency looking at an extension to give the community more time to meet the new standards before this penalty phase begins in 2016. The community is working aggressively on alternate plans, whether it's trucking natural gas from the North Slope. We're looking at alternatives to bring gas up from the south. But we all know that you can't flip the switch and make it happen between now and then. Assessing penalties on top of a community that is already socked with exorbitantly high energy costs is really not the way to go. So what can you offer the residents of Fairbanks in terms of some level of assurance that you're willing to work with us?
Well, I think that's the key right there, is to keep working on this together. I don't know that we have the right solution yet, so I can offer and will do the continued effort to try to see if we can get through this period. I think obviously you've mentioned a couple of ideas in your comment there in the long haul about natural gas and other things like that, and I'm sure Fairbanks wants to get to that point, you know, at some point. I'm not inexperienced with this issue. I heated my own home in upstate New York with wood for 5 years with my father, and that was my job, is to cut the trees. And I know that they're wet most of the time in the winter. So I'm painfully familiar with this particular issue, and want to offer that we'll continue working on it with you and with the state of Alaska to see if we can come to the right place.
Well, Mr. Perciasepi, I appreciate that. It doesn't necessarily comfort me because I've received the same assurances from Administrator Jackson, the people of Fairbanks. It's not a short winter up there. It's a long, cold, dark winter, and again, when you don't have many alternatives, you're looking for some assistance. I will ask then the same thing that I asked the administrator. Sit down with us and let's go through some of these areas where we don't feel that the agency is working with the residents, whether it is the issue that I raised with Fairbanks and PM 2.5 or what I raised in my opening statement with the solid waste incinerator rule and the impact that it has on a small husband-wife veterinary clinic in Soldotna. It seems to me that in that particular instance, and I'll let you address that, but it seems to me that there should be a way to address this administratively rather than having to assess this veterinary clinic $50,000 to do an annual test to make sure that they are meeting the compliance. So I would like your assurance that you will work with us on issues that may not be that big in terms of your agency's perspective, but for this community and for this small business, it's everything, because it's this regulation that could shut this business down.